Hello, I'm Carol from Carol Ann Creates. Today I'm going to show how to work some angle or diagonal double crochet stitches for some of the patterns that I create. These stitches here, it looks rather daunting, but there are a number of stitches here that are in my new pattern that will be released shortly. It's a wall hanging called Twilight Houses. The angle stitches are used sort of in the lamppost there and to round off some of the top of some of the houses and in the stars and around the doors and windows on one of the houses there. So I've just created this sheet just to compare the difference between the written part of the pattern and the chart. The chart is very easy to read because you've got, you know, the arrows there show you exactly where the angle stitches need to go, and underneath it is how it's written in the pattern. For instance, this one here, working from the right on the chart, you work from the right to the left in what I've got here. Obviously, if you're left-handed, you do it the other way, and in the written part, you're going from left to right as you're reading it. So the first stitch here is an angle double crochet, one stitch to the right, which is this one, and then a double crochet here and an angle double crochet, one stitch to the left. Now, in this instance, it's all just one stitch, and those forward slashes show you that these three stitches are actually combined to make one stitch. And the same up here, just move this out of the way for a minute. The same up here is that they're just two stitches, an angle double crochet to the right and a DC there. And anyway, I'll show you those as I go through. Now, before I get started, I just want to show. Sometimes I will do if the stitch is two stitches to the left or to the right, I will do either an extended double crochet or a treble crochet, because that's quite a long way to go. You can do a normal double crochet, but should do it quite loosely if you're going to go that far. Even if you just go one stitch to the left or the right, just do it a little bit looser. So to do an extended double crochet, it's yarn over, and I'll just go to the two stitches here to the left. So you go under, pull yarn through, pull through one loop, yarn over, pull through two loops, and then yarn over and pull through the last two loops on your hook. You could also do a treble if you wanted to do that instead of an extended double crochet. Sometimes I think the treble looks a bit neater, doesn't look quite so loopy. So yarn over twice there. Well, you probably all know what a treble is, but I'll just go through two, and then through two. And I think it looks a little neater sometimes rather than the extended double crochet, but it is a longer stitch, so it doesn't need to be done that loosely. So anyway, I've already used this yarn for a practice video that wasn't very good, so I had to delete it, and it's a little bit loose. So I might just move along a little bit just to get past that part, that stitch there that's a bit too loose. Okay, so I'll just show you if you can see it on the chart there, the first one here. I'll just work that one first, the angle double crochet one stitch to the right there. So normally, if I was working a double crochet here, it would go into the next front loop here from 2 rows below. This is Mosaic Overlay crochet. I should have mentioned that before. I'll put that in my description, which means that you're working, you know, every second row, different colour, and you cut your yarn at the end there. And the double crochets are always worked into the stitch 2 rows below. And that stitch could be either a single crochet or a double crochet. As long as there's a front loop there, that's where you're working into. So normally if I was doing a double crochet, I would work down there into the next stitch. But this is one stitch. I'm doing one stitch to the right. Actually, that's there. So one stitch to the right is over here. So I'm going to do my, when it's only one stitch, I just do a regular double crochet. So that's one stitch to the right, which is what I've done there. And so having done that, you can see I have to skip one stitch behind, which is that one. So my next stitch will go here. So I'll just do 2 single crochets. And now the next one is one to the left, one double crochet to the left. So normally my double crochet would go here, but now it's one to the left. So it's going over here. I have done another one of these, another video for angle stitches, but it was, it's very basic. This one's, I'm going to show you a few more combinations, if you like. As you write program patterns, you always come up with a number of different combinations, and sometimes I'm not sure whether people will understand what I'm trying to do. So that's why I'm doing this video here. So that's what I've done there, and now I'll do the one where it's 2 to the left combined there. If you can see that. So I'm working on this one here. First of all, my next stitch here, I will just skip stitch. You can see, because you have to skip one stitch behind, you can always tell with that's the stitch previous stitch I worked into. I have to skip this one, so that's my next stitch there. And so that's the one I'm just going to do a couple of stitches to move along a bit here before I do the other one, the next one. Okay, so now I'm going to do this here. So it's an angle double crochet 2 to the right and a double crochet combined in the one stitch there. So my next double crochet would normally go here, but instead of that, it's going to be 2 to the right. So I'm going to make this one an extended double crochet. But because it's combined with a regular double crochet, I only work it until I have two loops on my hook, and then I work into the double crochet. So this is 2 to the right, so the double crochet should go here. Work through the 2, and now I have 3 loops on my hook, and then pull through. So with an extended double crochet, you can see it does get a little bit, you know, not as nice as a treble. So on the other side, I'm going to do a treble just to compare the difference there. So that's because I've created just one stitch. It's skipping one stitch behind there. So the next stitch, which is also a combination stitch, goes here. And the first one is a DC, so I will just go straight down here for that DC. But I'm only going to pull through 1, pull through 2, and then leave it. I've got 2 loops on my hook. So I'm going to now do a treble instead of the extended double crochet for this one. Angle double crochet 2 to the left. So it's yarn over twice, and so it's 2 to the left from this stitch here. So it goes here into this one, pull through, pull through 2, through 2, and now I've got 3 stitches on my hook, pull through the 3. So you can see this yarn's a very loose weave, so it doesn't work up as well as other yarns do. So you can see the treble there compared to the extended double crochet there. With some yarn, extended double crochet looks fine, and I actually made my other pattern using the I actually made my wall hanging here using the extended double crochet, but because it was black, it kind of didn't show these loops up as much. But I think I prefer the treble crochet. Okay, so now because I've done 2 stitches here together, I have to skip 2 at the back here. So that's 1, 2, and my next stitch goes in here. I'll just do a couple of more stitches. Along. So when you do a treble, sometimes you don't really need to do it very loosely because it's a bigger stitch. Yeah. Okay, so this is very similar to that, except it's only 1 stitch to the left rather than 2 stitches to the left. So I'll just do one of those to show you again how to do it. So it's yarn over, and the first one is going directly where a stitch should go, but I only pull through 2 loops and leave 2 on my hook. Then yarn over, and then 1 to the left, and just doing a regular. And 3 loops on the hook and pull through just a regular DC there. And because I'm only skipping 1 stitch, my next stitch is here. Just doing some of these before I'll just show you to the one on the right. So the first stitch is going to be the angle double crochet ones to the right, and then it's combined with a regular DC. So it's yarn over. Normally the regular DC would go there, so now it's 2 to the right. So I'm going to, actually I might do a treble there for that one. Through 2, and I've got 2 hooks, 2 loops on my hook, and then it's a regular DC. So that was 2 to the right. So the regular DC goes in here. And now I have 3 loops on my hook, and I'll pull through. Yeah, so you can see the difference there, because this one, I did this one in a treble crochet, so it is a bit looser than this one here, which is not a treble crochet. Yeah. Actually, I've done that 2. I've done that 2 to the right instead of 1 to the right. Sorry, that's my mistake. I was just looking at this wondering what I've done wrong. So I'll just do that one again. So I'm doing this one here. So it's only 1 to the right. Normally it would go there. So it's 1 to the right, and then 1 regular DC, and then all through. So yeah, that's it. Sorry about that mistake. So that's those 2 there. So I'll just do this last one here, and then before I get on to the others. So this is 3 stitches. I mean, it's 1 stitch actually, but it's 3 legs of the 1 stitch. And so it's 1 to the right, a regular DC, and then 1 to the left. I will just do a couple of DCs first. I'm getting near the end here. Okay. Now I'm going to do one to the right. The normal one would go there, so it's one to the right. I'm leaving 2 loops on the hook. And then I'll do a regular one in the middle. Now there's 3 loops on the hook, and then 1 to the right, to the left. 4 loops on my hook. Pull through 4, and so there it is. That's 1, created 1 stitch there, but it's worked into 3 stitches at the bottom. But because there's only 1 stitch up here, I only going to skip 1 stitch at the back there. And go into the next one. And I'll come back in a minute and show you what happens, how to work into the next row. So I'm back onto the next row here. I just wanted to show, oops, that's my phone. I just wanted to show how to work the, if you're doing double crochets on the next row, sometimes it can be a bit tricky to find that front loop. So I just wanted to show you, do that front loop behind the angle stitch. So here, there's another stitch that's needed here. You can see you've got to dig behind here. It's hidden a bit behind the angle stitch. And then I'll work into the stitch. Because that next row, sometimes it just shows the design up very well once you get to it, once you do the next row. It looks like you can see here, it looks like there's a stitch peeking through there, but you're not working into that one. You just follow the stitch, the next stitch on the top row, you just follow down and work your DC into that one. Again, this one's a little bit hidden, but these angle stitches are only 1 stitch to the left, so it's not so hard to locate that front loop. Now here, there are 2 more stitches here before I get to the 2 stitches that are connected to all the angle stitches. So I've got 2 DCs to do here. Now this one's well hidden because it's behind an angle stitch that's 2 stitches to the right. So you have to kind of go in there and find it. And it's the same on this side. You can't see the front loop at all because it's behind here. Okay, I'll come back and show you the rest of those angle stitches in a minute, but you can see that when you've done the next row, the angle shows up really well. Well, now I've just done an extra row there, so I can show you how to do these ones. This is just 3 stitches worked into the 1 stitch there. So that's the first one is an angle double crochet 1 to the left. So normally I would do it here, but it's going to go into here, onto the left. And then there's another one all going into the same loop. I'll just untangle my yarn a bit. And then another one into the same loop. And this is the one that's going to the left there. So that's 3 stitches. So I'll have to skip 3 for my next stitch, which is here. oops, I don't know if you saw that, if I wandered off camera or not, but there are 3 stitches to be skipped at the back because there's three DCs there. I'll just move along a little bit so that I can do the next one. So the next one here is pretty much the same as what we've done before, but I'll just show you. It's 2 to the left, 2 to the right, 1 centre DC, and then 1 to the left. But that's a combination stitch all into the 1 stitch there. So I'm just going to do an extended double crochet this time. So normally I would go there, but now it's 2 to the right, 1, 2. So I'll go into this one here, through 1 loop, first loop, oops, through the second loop, and then 2 on my hook, and then it's 2 back here to the middle one, through 2 loops. Now I've got 3 on my hook, and then 2 to the right, to the left I mean. So I'm doing an extended one here, so it's through 1, through 2, and now there's 4 loops on my hook, so I pull it through all 4 loops there. So that's 3 stitches, and that's 1 stitch, but combination of 3 stitches. So I'm only skipping 1 stitch at the back, so the next stitch goes here. Let's do a couple of stitches. You can see there. So again, those extended double crochets look a little messy. And maybe a treble might have been a bit better to do. I might do it. I'll do a treble on this last one here. I'll just move along a little bit. And I'm going to do this one here, which is, well, the first stitch is 1 angle DC to the right, and then the second one goes into the same stitch there, so it's an angle DC, 2 stitches to the right. I'll do that DC there first as well. So that's just a regular DC. Then the next one goes into the same stitch. And then the next one, which I'll do a treble this time, they all go into the same stitch, so they're quite easy to do. And so there's 3, 1, 2, 3, and then my next stitch is here. Oh, sorry, I hope I haven't wandered off the camera there too much. I'll just do that one again in case I wandered off a bit too much there. So I'm just doing a regular DC. So it's just 3 stitches into the one. Then the next one, instead of going here, it's 1 to the right. And then the next one is, instead of going where the next one should be, it's 2 to the right. So it makes it into the same stitch again. And so it's 3 stitches. So I'm skipping 3 at the back, and the next stitch is over here. That's what that looks like there. That makes that nice little curve around the top of the house here. That's what those stitches are for. So I hope that's been helpful. It's a little messy, and I think I'm going to have to re-examine whether I wanted to use extended double crochets again, because they are just a little bit too loose for me. Maybe just a tighter version of a treble might be better. Okay, thank you for watching, and I hope it's been clear for you.